Welcome back to The Pulse, where we shine a spotlight on leaders dedicated to making a difference. Today, we are privileged to showcase Chief Judge Cynthia Dustin Cruz, a dedicated public servant and candidate for re-election as Las Vegas Justice Court Judge, Department 5. With a rich history of service and a steadfast dedication to justice, Judge Cruz embodies the essence of compassionate leadership and unwavering integrity. Join us as we delve into her remarkable story and explore the vision she holds for the community she serves. Welcome to The Pulse, Chief Judge Cruz.
Thank you so much for having me today.
It's really a pleasure to have you here with us, and I see you in the community and you do great things. And we thank you for your service to our community.
Thank you so much.
So before we dive into the questions, I just want to express our gratitude for taking the time to join us today. Your dedication to justice and community service is truly inspiring.
Well, let's jump right in, shall we? Chief Judge Cruz, as you seek re-election, your track record speaks volume. What achievements from your previous term are you most proud of, and how do you plan to build upon them if given the opportunity to continue serving?
So I'd say I'm really most proud of how I started working with treatment courts to help out people that are getting involved in the criminal justice system due to possibly a substance use problem. And those treatment courts were really limited in funding. They didn't have a lot of money, so that meant translated and you couldn't help a lot of people. So I had never written a grant before, had no idea, and I learned how to write grants and started writing grant applications and was able to be successful and bring a couple $1 million into the court system, brand new money, to help these people. So I'd say that's probably one of my biggest things. Since becoming Chief Judge, I've worked to improve technology and how it can make things better, not only regarding processes within the court to make us more efficient, but for the general public, because a lot of people don't know how to access the courts. A lot of people can't take a lot of time off to come down to the courts. So if we can try to use technology to make things a little easier for people to have their day in court and access justice, that's what I've been working on.
That's awesome.
So running for re-election often involves reflecting on your past challenges. Could you share some of the hurdles you faced during your time in office, and perhaps maybe how you overcome them to better serve the community?
So when I got on the bench, one of the things that at my level of court we do, it's called search warrant duty. And what that means is if a law enforcement officer is trying to get a search warrant because they're investigating a case and they need to go search a car, search a house, search something, historically they either had to call us on the phone and read to us an application, or they had to come find us either at the courthouse or even after hours to our house or wherever we may be with the piece of paper. And I remember being at Judicial College and I was sitting next to a judge from Denver. And he was always on every break on his computer. And I finally sat there and said, what are you doing? And he said, I'm on search warrant duty. And I'm like, okay, you're in Reno, Nevada, and you're doing search warrant duty, and you're from Denver. And he says, yeah, we submit everything electronically. They email the warrants to us, and then we're able to review them. So the officers aren't trying to drive to our house, trying to spend the time driving across town to the courthouse. They're able to email them to us. And I started wondering, well, why can't we do this? And so I started talking as I was on the planes back and forth to Las Vegas. I started talking to other district court judges that I know, state legislators, and eventually they implemented the statute. And it just was one of the challenges that I faced, like coming onto the bench, like, why are we doing it this antiquated way? Why can't we do it better? So things like that, I was able to kind of use like, well, I'm a judge, let's try to get this fixed, and we were able to overcome this challenge, and it actually has improved the system for all the judges because now, and the police, because now they don't have to drive to us. So it's things like that, and learning, keeping your education up, learning how to handle the matters in court, making sure that you're a fair and impartial forum, and not letting your judgment color anything.
So we know that transparency and accountability are crucial aspects of public service. How have you ensured transparency in your role as Chief Judge? And what measures have you taken to maintain the public's trust in the judiciary?
So a lot of the things that I've discussed is the utilization of technology, because a lot of times technology can help improve that transparency. You want to improve access to justice and access to the court systems, more public forums. So that's important to maintain not only the public trust, but the integrity, because people can come into your courtroom and see what's going on. The utilization of online technology, where in a lot of circumstances you can do court with certain types of appearances remotely. I think it just improves the ability for the public to see what we're doing, learn what we're doing, and build that trust. But it goes beyond there. It's important for us as judges to make sure that we maintain our training, that we regularly go to trainings that deal with things like implicit bias and fairness in the courtroom, and staying up to speed on not only the legal authorities that are coming down, but making sure that we're understanding of the community that we serve, because that's what we are. We're judges, but we're still public servants. And I think making sure that you maintain that helps.
Well said. Now, throughout your campaign, what feedback or concerns have you received from constituents, and how do you plan to address them if re-elected?
So I think the biggest challenge is that people are uncomfortable with electing judges because they don't know. And one of the things that I undertook when I became Chief Judge is whenever I have the opportunity to be in front of people and talk about our court, I try to educate people as to what my role as a judge is at Las Vegas Justice Court, because a lot of people don't know what types of cases we do, how you can access the system. So I've really worked on trying to educate people, and that seems to be the number one thing. The second thing everybody is concerned about is what's going on with the eviction crisis, what's going on with people potentially committing crimes and just being released, traffic. Mm-hmm. It seems to be there's a lot of things. And while we can't say, oh, I would rule a particular way, because that would be improper, I can talk about the process, and I can talk about what the law says, and try to help people by giving them base information about how procedure is in certain things. It helps educate the general public, and I think it eases concerns that the local constituents could have as to what happens with us.
Wow, I also do believe education is very important for society.
Yes, that is always important, because the more that we learn, the more that we understand, and the more that we can keep moving forward.
And we live in different times. We have all these AI with amazing tools that we can use, to improve our lives and the people around us. Yes.
So as you look towards the future, what new initiatives or priorities do you hope to focus on in your next term, and how do you believe this will benefit the residents of Las Vegas?
So some of the things that as Chief Judge that we are working on, and it is my hope that I can still stay on these particular committees so that I can keep moving it forward. One is we are working, the dreaded traffic tickets. There were some laws that came in and took traffic tickets as to be how they were always handled in a particular way. And now you have a group of them that are civil infractions, a group of them that are criminal, and a group of them that we call them kind of quasi-regulatory, like no insurance or driver's license. And we've been trying to work on, for certain subsets of these types of traffic tickets, an online portal system, so that should you get a ticket, you can get onto the court's online portal system to see if that ticket is one that you can resolve, if you wish, without having to come down to the court. You still certainly can have your day in court. You can certainly still challenge it, but some people just want to see if they can get it resolved. And we're really working on finding and creating this online portal so that the general public can do that. That's one of the projects that I'm working on. The next project is regarding evictions. You know, we've had, since COVID, we've had a lot of evictions. Last year alone, we had just under 50,000 new eviction cases filed in Las Vegas Justice Court. And, you know, there's two sides to every story. And I've been working with a lot of community stakeholders as to how do we navigate to consider the interests of both parties and try to take some of our most vulnerable people that are facing evictions and find solutions to either, one, provide them with temporary rental assistance of a limited basis, or two, find ways that they can gracefully exit without an eviction on their record, maybe into something that's more sustainable for them. And we just, in December, rolled out what's called the Eviction Diversion Program. Now, we had put this together previously through the court system, and it didn't seem to quite fit with what the community needs were. So we got back to the table in October and said, hey, we really need to look at this. And it was one of the things that came up to me to say, hey, we thought in the prior administration this was going to work, and it's just not working as effectively as we thought. And we said, all right, let's revamp it. Let's do it where there's a little bit more handoffs through community stakeholders when people are coming in and filing their eviction paperwork. Let's see if we can engage the landlords to say, hey, you're not going to be compelled to do this, but see if you want to voluntarily do this. And we're going to rapidly do this before any hearing date is, so that we can possibly get the assistance or get the relocation or other resources to these tenants before a hearing happens and that they could be evicted. But doing it in such a way that the landlords are okay with it too. And so we said, let's focus on some narrow subsets, our seniors and our disabled people, to try to help them initially while we worked out all of the kinks in this program. We rolled it back out in December, and I'm pleased to say that we've been able, as of, I want to say the end of February, to keep people in their houses, and that we've been able to get over $600,000 in money that just wasn't getting to the landlords, diverting evictions and getting these people in with the appropriate resources. So it's not a, hey, free rent situation. It's more in the line of, how can we figure out what's the best plan for you to have sustainable housing that maybe you just fell on hard times temporarily. We can get you that and then keep you in your unit, and then you can pick back up in handling things. Or maybe it's time to say, you're not going to be able to afford this particular place, so let's try to find you somewhere that you can afford and carry a little bit of the weight to help you get that transition. So a couple of things that we're working on.
Yeah, sounds like a very serious problem that our economy is facing right now.
It is, and it's challenging on both sides.
Lastly, in a competitive election, why should voters choose to re-elect you as their Las Vegas Justice Court Judge, Department 5? What sets you apart from your opponents and makes you the best candidate to continue serving the community?
I think the most important thing is, and I think we've talked about it, experience matters. I currently have been a licensed attorney here in Nevada and in the Las Vegas community for over 20 years. I've had over 11 years in this particular seat as a judge. My opponent is a very nice young lady, but she has been practicing law for 5 years and then only in the criminal realm as a prosecutor. I have handled every type of case and presided over every type of calendar that we have in Las Vegas Justice Court. And we do more than just criminal cases. We do civil matters. We do, like I said, eviction, traffic, protective orders. We do civil cases less than $15,000, small claims. It's more than just, I know how to do a criminal case. So I think with my length of experience, the fact that I've been practicing both criminal and civil law for, like I said, easily 20 years now, It enables me to show that I have a proven track record for the voters to feel comfortable and confident that I can continue doing the job as a public servant, that I can keep improving the community in my role as a judge, and that I can also be that fair and impartial forum that I've been able to demonstrate since I got on the bench in 2013.
Well, I must say that your experience speaks volume, and I commend you for having the heart or your sincerity to truly help our community. Your dedication is impeccable.
Thank you.
So, Chief Judge Cruz, Las Vegas voters are eager to hear from you. What message would you like to share to them?
So I would say I am on the November ballot, so I will not be on the primary. A lot of people know me as Cruz. I'm on the ballot as my full legal name, because that's how we're supposed to run, which is Dustin Cruz. People can go to my website at cruzforjudge.com and learn a lot more about me and a lot more of the things that I've been doing in the community. So I hope that I can secure their vote in November, and that I can keep on the bench for another term and keep doing the work that I've been trying to do since I got elected.
Well, we wish you good luck in your current and future endeavors, and may you win this coming election.
Thank you so much.
Well, dear viewers, that concludes our insightful interview with Chief Justice Cynthia Dustin Cruz. On behalf of Uncle Sam, Joe, Sarah, and I, take care everyone, and God bless your week.